Welcome to Beyond the Veil with Adina. I am Adina. Thank you for joining me here on YouTube today. Happy Tuesday. Happy day of Mars to everybody. Yeah. Rock your body. Anyways, you guys, welcome to my channel, Beyond the Veil with Adina. I am Adina. To all of you newbies, I am your hostess with the mostest, as well as your resident medium, oracle, angel, which just means messenger, woo lady, prophetess, priestess, and all the other things that you might like to call us. And I do all of those things here on this channel, so I understand completely that this is not everybody's cup of tea. I just invite you to spit it out and exit just as quickly and peacefully as you have come so that you don't disturb or disrespect my community. And to all of my regular viewers, subscribers, busted babies, OG watchers, bush watchers, and everything in between, welcome to Beyond the Veil with Adina. Happy Tuesday, happy day of Mars. YouTube, I imagine the one person that it says is in here is you, the watchers. I know YouTube, you won't like this. I know that I've been on the shadow ban, and based on the title of this live, you guys are going to ban this video into oblivion because I don't have any of my subscribers here. When that happens, oh, hey, Sammy. I didn't think YouTube was going to let anyone into this live, considering that this live is going to be about YouTube's parent company. Nevertheless, hey, Rose, you guys are here. Oh, well, thank you guys for joining me. How you doing, Sammy? How you doing, Rose? How you ladies doing this Tuesday? You guys okay? Well, let me go ahead and make a post because YouTube is on one today. It's 6 o'clock in the evening, so there is no reason why there's only two people here other than the fact that YouTube is putting the shadow moves on me. So I have to go and make a post and advocate for myself here on this platform so that you guys can have access to me, especially the people who would like to. Let me make a post letting everyone know that I'm live. It'd be nice if they allow everyone to see this post, but typically my subscribers don't get notifications here. Thank you for the hearts, everybody. I am fighting a shadow ban and I'm doing it alone because you guys show up, but nobody really interacts except for my regulars. Um, so that supports their shadow ban of me. And I know you guys don't care. I don't ask anybody to care. I'm just saying thank you for all the hearts that I see because you guys help me fight the powers that be. And my fight does not begin or end here on YouTube. I am a woo lady. I actually might still have dirt in my fingers because I just left the graveyard. I had to bury something or someone's. BlackRock. That's who we're talking about today. Did you guys hear the news? Where am I? Oh, here they are. Did you guys hear the news? I'm just going to go ahead and get into it because I don't even know how successful doing a public live will be. I'm so shadow banned that I'm always surprised if I get two people in a live. So I'm just going to get to it so I don't keep you guys long. I'm going to go and do a members live right after this. That's good, Sammy. I hope you're safe out there on the road. I'm okay. I'm okay. All right. Hey, Yosef, how are you? Are you the Yosef that I just did a crown of success with? Are you the Yusuf? Oh, no, that's Yusuf. Your name is Yosef. Yosef Chaim Duhan. Are you Jewish? Are you a troll? All right. So, I came here today. I shall not tarry before you long, but I will be doing a members live immediately after this for all of my channel members. And that is where I really invest myself. Excuse me while I take a sip. Are you here to troll me, Yosef, because of the title of my video? All right. With that being said, BlackRock, you guys know who they are? They're everyone and they're everywhere, including in my chat. So it's been on my spirit to read them because BlackRock has been on my spirit for a while. Do you all know that BlackRock owns YouTube through Google? Yes, 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 it does. Yes, it does. YouTube was sold to Google, who is owned by BlackRock, whose CEO, Larry Fink, recently said or proposed using Americans' pensions savings to build data centers and AI infrastructures. You guys, that's why I asked Yosef if he was here to troll me. Yosef Chaim, I'm not trying to single you out. I'm just curious. If you're not a troll, you're more than welcome to stay. If you are a troll, you're going to be upset. I'm just let you know right now. So let's just get into the things of the things. I know most of you guys don't care about this stuff because it has nothing to do with celebrities. But here we go. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink proposed using Americans' pension savings to build data centers and AI infrastructure. In his view, that would give the industry trillions of dollars and allow more Americans to profit from AI growth, not profit from your pensions, but have your pensions help you profit from artificial intelligence, even though humans are perfectly capable of being intelligent. In fact, humans are the reasons there's a such thing as an artificial intelligence. But Larry Fink wants to use your pension to help you profit from an artificial version. Why? Because you guys are no longer intelligent. Hey, Chi Chi. My whole vibe changes when you walk in because of your name. Because you a whole lot of woman if you're a girl. All right. Hello, Iswood. Hello, hello. Draconian Lord, you shall be dismissed. I knew that this topic was going to bring you guys out because I'm talking about the owners of YouTube. All right. So how do you guys feel about that? When was this happen? When is this article? I am reading from storiesframingtheglobe.com or storiesframingtheglobe.media. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink has proposed using Americans' retirement savings to help finance the construction of data centers and the expansion of artificial intelligence infrastructure. How many of you all in the chat have a pension or a retirement savings plan? Just put a thumb or something in the chat, a nod or something. Because this might help you. I listen, we're not talking about the boomer gen. We are talking about a ruling class here. The boomer generation are just as sleep as the current generation, to be honest. They just been sleep longer. They're easier to control. They're easier to agree with the elites because they benefited from the elites so much. Welcome, Tierra. So they're oblivious to things and they like to stay that way. Unfortunately, they are at the age now where there is not much room for change in their mentalities. Okay. Well, you guys are who Larry Fink thinks should fund expanded artificial intelligence infrastructure. Keep in mind, I did two readings on a Bill Gates interview last year, where he predicted that humans within the next 10 years would be obsolete, he said. I did two readings here, so you can go watch them and find all of the facts, all of the sources that I cited. Bill Gates said that in the next 10 years, he foresees that humans will be obsolete for anything other than entertainment. When I read it, I was appalled for you all because I'm not a human. I was appalled for you all. How dare he say those things about mankind? And then I just been sitting back interacting with mankind, and I said, you know what, Bill? You know what? Why do you guys make me agree with Bill Gates? I looked around at humans and I said, oh, yeah, I can see that. I can see it. I can see it today. Um, so, and not saying that that's like I'm cheering them on. I'm saying I can see that humanity is really, if you look on social media or the digital world today, if you look at the generations, if you just look around at the decrease in intelligence in humans and how humans have been so consumed by social media, false narratives, a virtual reality that can be narrated and given to you through technology. And I looked around and everybody kind of just repeating the same thoughts, the same ideas with different twists as if they're their own, even though they've been fed to them. I looked around and everybody only cares about celebrity gossip and things like that. And I said, I completely see where Bill Gates was going. Do I agree with it? No. But I understand why he said it. And I believe that he only said it because it's something they've been chipping away at humanity with for a long time. And now we're just seeing the results. By now, it's late. If you're reading this or watching this, it's almost too late. But if you're watching this, you're in a good place to not be a casualty of psychological warfare. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink has proposed using Americans' retirement savings to help finance the construction of data centers and the expansion of artificial intelligence infrastructure. In his annual letter to shareholders. So he's speaking to shareholders. Mind you, some of these people are the businesses that you guys work for. Fink said that the United States views leadership in AI as a strategic priority. Listen to the words that they say. Fink said, now, Larry Fink himself is a trillionaire, I believe. Larry's going to be mad that I'm cutting up on his YouTube. So he's a billionaire. BlackRock is a $1 trillion company. Max, unfortunately, the only thing you can do is nothing. You're dismissed now. I don't deal with minds like Max. So don't be like Matt in my chat. If I see that you are already dead, there's no life in you and there can be no life spoken into you, I'm going to block you. Okay? I don't deal with BlackRock's troll. In fact, I just finished a ritual. You guys want to see the remains? Now, I ain't going to say who or what I did, but it's Tuesday, the day of Mars. And on Mars, we get active. Okay? On Mars Day, we get active. Just left the graveyard from burying the remains of a ritual. I'm on one. Anybody can get it. Throw some of that graveyard dirt on you. Cash Money Max, are you the same Max that I just blocked coming from another channel? I curse you. I curse you with increased heat. Yes. May your skin shrivel up. You're dismissed now. Anyways, so technically, BlackRock and Larry Fink could fund this plan all by themselves. However, they want you guys to do it. Now, artificial intelligence has to become intelligent from somewhere. That is where you guys come to play. They want you to fund your own death. And for the most of America, they'll do it. They'll do it and complain to the government. They'll complain to their peers about who voted for who and whose fault this is. And then they'll continue to look for leaders to vote for to solve this issue when Larry Fink said the United States agrees. Fink said the United States views, he didn't say he does. He says the United States views leadership in AI as a strategic priority. AI is a strategic priority. Emphasis on the word strategic. Requiring. It's a strategic priority that requires, it's not up for debate, long-term investment in technology, infrastructure, and workforce development, not in all the things that you guys are begging and pleading for. They don't care nothing about you going broke. They don't care nothing about you going broke at the gas station. They don't care nothing about you eating poison processed foods. They don't care nothing about y'all inflation. They don't care nothing about y'all education, schools. They don't care nothing about none of that shit that y'all begging them to care about, and y'all fighting your own community, which you need. You're fighting your own community about these things and blaming your community for voting these people in when they don't. Anyways, you guys fighting everybody but the people doing it to you. Fink said that the United States views leadership in AI as a strategic priority, requiring long-term investment in technology, infrastructure, and workforce development. This is a quote. Y'all don't believe me? Here it go. Look, because y'all know I cite my sources. The United States clearly understands that leadership in AI is not optional and will require sustained investment. So imagine a company that operates in the United States being able to tell the United States what will and will not be required. You know, they always talked about a shadow government and the Illuminati and stuff. And I only use those terms in the terms that you guys, the woke terms that people like to use. The United States, this man says, the United States clearly understands. Now he's telling you guys, listen, I'm not asking nobody for nothing. I'm telling you, the United States already knows because I told them that leadership in AI is not optional. Optional, mind you, leadership in AI, leader, leader. Okay. That means your politicians, your elites, your bosses, everybody that's over you, everyone who you give your sovereignty to, they will be on board to lead who? You. BlackRock, I know y'all on YouTube. Am I doing good with this one so far? Hmm. The United States clearly understands that leadership in AI is not optional. In case you guys thought that you can vote your way out of this, me and my members are laughing because we know some secrets that I don't share here with you guys. Mhm. And will require sustained investment in research, infrastructure, and talent. Capital markets capable of financing innovation at this scale are essential, he wrote. Mind you, a bunch of BlackRock shareholders just dumped about $1 billion worth of stocks, like I said they would on my Easter message. I told them that they would be drugged back into war and they would lose their money. People would be pulling out stocks. I said this on Easter as a judgment. That was you guys' first omen. But here Larry is testing nature, testing God. So, anyways, but let's just see. According to Fink, attracting private capital, including pension fund assets, could channel trillions of dollars into the sector while also allowing more Americans to benefit from the economic growth tied to the expansion of AI. How many of you guys know someone or heard of someone that has kind of been put out of a job, either currently or will be put out of the job because of AI? You guys know any companies that have incorporated AI because they might be trying to? How about this? If you don't know any companies, how many of you utilize AI in your personal everyday business? How many of you guys use Chat GPT to help you think? I'll go first. I'm a realtor. So my whole CRM is managed by my artificial intelligence assistant because I have hundreds of contacts in my database and I cannot email and send property searches to hundreds of people in a day where I have businesses to run. So I employ a virtual assistant so that I can put your information in and set up whatever searches or campaigns I need to put you on. And my virtual assistant does all the contacting you for me until it's time for me to face with you. That's as far as I go with AI. I think that's a useful way to use AI. How many of you guys have seen artificial intelligence replace an important function of your daily life? How many of you guys need AI to help you formulate a thought that you would like to express in a certain way? How many of you guys use AI to tell you something that you don't know and you don't have the time to research for yourself? Uh, I see you guys leaving the chat. Oh, BlackRock is the world's largest investment company and holds major stakes in leading technology corporations, including Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, who I have stocks in myself. But I completely forgot. I bought them stocks in when I was messing with my African who put me on to stocks after my divorce. He said, "Let me show you what a real man looks like. Let me show you how to get a bag." Because your ex husband, how could your ex husband just fumble you like that? Let me show you how to get on your feet and get a bag. So I actually was an options trader. Um, and then I kind of fell back a little bit after I made a lot of gains because I'm not big on gambling. And to me, options is gambling. You can be up today and down today. You can be up today and down today. So the way I gamble is when I'm up, I'm out. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to cash out. I'm the cash out queen. So, but I actually, when I decided to pull out of options, I said, well, let me purchase a couple of stocks that I could just walk away from for a while, let them sit and appreciate or depreciate. We'll see. I didn't get, but I think two, so that I didn't risk too much. Thank you. It's not closed yet. We're under contract. There's a process. We accept the offer, and until everybody signs that contract and it's sent to title, ain't nothing set in stone. But the contracts are executed. So we are on our way to closing. But thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I negotiated for days. It was tough. I had to be a shark. Um, but as you guys saw that follow me on my Instagram, I got everything that we requested and a little extra commission for me that I did not have to negotiate. I got a commission from both sides. Okay. 7% here, and that's the max. 3% here. A 10 is a 10 to me. And my client's daughter, who has an 800 credit score and is a supervisor down to the sheriff's department, said, if they moving over here, then I want to move right there. So we found her a house the day after we went under contract for her parents. We have a showing on Friday. She said, if it looks as good as I think it does on the outside and from the pictures, put me an offer on it. So literally running a train on the whole family. They said, before you move, let me use you right quick. And I said, y'all better get all the water out of this duck while you can, because when I wrap this up, I'm out of here. Thank you, JD, for being such a supporter and for um, cheering for a Black woman in business. Thank you, because it's hard. Um, you guys know some of my struggles in business with my business partners just in 2024 and how that almost took me asunder. So, JD, I love you, okay? And you're making me feel really emotional and tender. And you know I don't like feeling all tender. Come on now. Take it easy on me now before I get to blushing. Well, thank you. I am Miss Make It Happen, even if I got to woo every motherfucking body involved. You will give me what I want for my clients. Did I woo them people? Hell yeah. Did I woo this whole transaction? Hell yeah. How y'all think I got it? I got this after doing a Crown of Success last year, and we just did a Crown of Success and a Destiny Fulfilled ceremony. And then the offer came knocking at my door. right when I was about to do another open house. They just came giving me their money, saying, please, please, please. So, yes, when you are my client, we is going to win. I ain't just your regular realtor. I got other resources that I can employ to get whatever the fuck I want. So move out of my way or say yes. Because I'm always going to be fair. But if you try to jip me, then I'm going to put woo on you. And that's what these people did. That's why the negotiations took 3 days, because they was trying to play on my head top. I'm a woman, I'm Black, and I live in a very racist town in Florida, a good old boy town. So, yes, and they're developers. So, yes, they tried to play me. And I played them right back. And then once I peep game and I said, oh, y'all think I'm fucking dumb. What did I do? Spirits! Spirits, they think I'm motherfucking dumb. Spirit said, and they do. And I said, but I think they're dumb for thinking I'm dumb. Spirit said, and they are. Getting ready to, I'm getting ready to move. I have about a handful of clients that I need to wrap up, and then I am out of here. We need change. You know me. You asked me if I move, like you might actually know me. And then you might just hit me up later, like, girl, that was actually me on your YouTube. You know me? You somebody that know me for real? All right. But anyways, Nvidia is one of the companies that I took a stock out on, because I was advised to. And I still have it, actually. You lasted 5 months in Florida, born and raised. And I always thought that I would never leave Florida. I'm a Florida girl. I love my state. I love the people. I love the culture. I love how I grew up. But I have to go. Oh, yes, I live in Central Florida. Okay, I live in Ocala. I'm just gonna say I live in Ocala. And if you know, you know. The Villages was a part of Ocala, but they just gave the Villages their own county, their own zip code, and all of that. So they kind of separated the Villages from Ocala, but it started out as just, oh, you was in Duval? That's where I was supposed to move to at first because my family is there. But I said, actually, what is the point of moving in Florida? Just move. I lived in South Florida. That's the only other place that I would move back to in Florida, and it's too expensive. So I'm leaving Florida, and I'll be leaving the United States within the next um, Uh, we'll see. I have a 5 year plan, 5 to 10 year plan, but it can definitely happen within the next 10 years that I leave the United States. Yes. Um, I have stories to tell. I sued Lockheed Martin. I say that all the time because everybody think I'm just a reader, but bitch, I'm an activist, okay? Y'all could never. Y'all would never take on Lockheed Martin by yourself. Y'all would never. Okay? You would never. I would ever. I would. Y'all could never do woo and get somebody free from ICE. I'm just playing. Y'all could. I can. I did. Anyways, so yeah, I do this. You wish me luck? Thank you. Thank you. All right. Um, so yeah, I have a stock in Nvidia. I haven't signed into my E-Trade in so long. I don't even remember my login information, but I guess I'll look into it on Thursday. Isn't that when the market closes Thursday? I'll look into it on Thursday and see what it looks like. How Nvidia been doing, y'all? For those of y'all who have stocks in them, what they look like right now. I forgot I had it until I got an email from E-Trade a week or two ago saying that Nvidia was having some kind of annual shareholders voting something. And at first I was thinking, the fuck y'all telling me for? And I was like, oh Lord, I forgot I got them people's stocks. I'm a shareholder, so I might need to vote. Completely forgot. I've been succeeding in so many other places in business that I forgot all about my stocks. I used to watch that like a hawk when I was trying to get through my divorce. But child, now I'm through it. I'm back on my feet, bitch. I forgot all. I know the market's been funny because of the war. I told them people that on Easter. I told them. Anyways, everything else crazy up and down. I just hold and play the long game. Literally, we need change. I got them stocks in 2021 after I stopped trading options. And here it is, 2026, and this I'm just now remembering them. And I probably still ain't gonna log into my E-Trade. I just don't care. They're gonna have to tell me one day, please, lady, you're a billionaire. Check your account. Somebody gonna have to email me like, I am a financial advisor, and we were just notified that you're one of our billionaire shareholders. I'm be like, what? For who? Child, 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 child. I'm gonna pull out right when they need all their shareholders to stay in. I need them to be on the brink of death. I need them to be like, we can't even afford for our smallest shareholder to pull out. So I can be, so I can be just like a nigga who don't want to get you pregnant and pull right on, yeet, pull right on out. Y'all said don't pull out? Stick and move. They do that? Oh God, we need change. All right. I'll do it tomorrow. They still emailing me. I still get the E-Trade emails, but they show up in my spam now or my promotion folder. But they still email me. But I'm gonna take your word for it before they stop emailing me after I do this reading about BlackRock. Oh, they definitely gonna try to get my shit now. Anyways, hey Q, we got two real men's in here today. We need change. You're treating me like you're a real man, not a troll, not somebody who comes in here trolling women from their platform while I'm the star of my own platform. I like that. I like when real men come up in here. Q, welcome. Listen, we got men's in here today. Okay, everybody get y'all shit together. We got men's in here today. Real ones, okay? Ladies, okay, everybody don't act right. Act like we got some sense. Yes, God. Listen, that is how Q comes in all the time. Greetings, all the goddesses and gods. I love Q. I stand Q. Who's Q? Under artistic eval. That's Q. Yes, JD. You don't need no push-up bra, JD. Your titties is gonna be like airbags. You're gonna get suffocated if you put on a push-up bra. I can imagine how you can breathe with them big airbags deployed in your face. They not pushed up enough. They big. JD, you got big old knockers. Girl, we're not gonna be able to see you if you wear a push-up bra. We're gonna have to be like, hold on, who is this? Oh, hey JD. This is me peeking through your titties. Hey JD. I even close them back. Hey JD. Like curtains. Girl, yes, airbags deployed. A push-up bra, girl. How can you see? You're gonna be like trying to peek over your titties. But I love them. I love them. Okay, anyways. BlackRock happens to be the world's largest investment company and holds major stakes in leading technology companies, including Apple, Microsoft. Do I have stock in Apple too? It's another one besides NVIDIA. NVIDIA and other firms connected to artificial intelligence and digital infrastructure. As much as I want to pull out now so that I don't support the cause, I have to be as strategic as Larry is. I have to wait for the right time to cripple them with pulling out because I fight the powers that be with the powers that be. And you hoes could, but would never. Not you hoes, though. All right. Oh, they ended the article there. Oh, that's it? Y'all ain't gonna tell us what else? Y'all just wanted us to know he said that and y'all was gonna do it. So this wasn't a conversation or a debate. This was just saying, this what Larry said, and then that's it. All right. So let us, now that we know what BlackRock wants to do, I will say again for those of you guys who just got here, BlackRock does own YouTube because YouTube is owned by Google. Google pays us, YouTubers. Yep, it sure does. It's Google who pays us, just like it's your Google account that you have to use to create a YouTube and sign into it. Google is owned by NVIDIA. So you guys understand why I have the shadow ban on my channel and why I say the feds be watching. That's why you have trolls here calling me a trans and all of those things. That's why I've been threatened here on YouTube. They said I could be touched here in my chat. And I said, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, stop format it. I sure did. Y'all know I ain't been touched in so long in a womanly way. I ain't been touched in years in a womanly way. When they threatened me, I got turned on a little bit. Y'all got to be careful with threatening me with a good time. Mm-mm. I said, ooh, that sound like it hurts real good. I said, oh, y'all gonna touch me? Y'all gonna touch me? Where? They can't stand trolling me and threatening my life when I be like, oh, like this? You gonna touch me like this? You gonna accost me, Mr. Officer? Oh, I like this game. I like this game. I do. Mm-hmm. I do. They ain't threatened me since. That's sad, Rosie. Girl, that ain't the first time my life been threatened. My life got threatened off of YouTube in 2021-ish when I was doing before I was doing celebrity readings, before I had 100 subscribers. They shouldn't even knew who I was. I got a request from a friend up in Buffalo, New York to do a reading on a friend of theirs whose daughter was missing. They said, please do a reading for my friend. And I said, you mind it if I do it? Actually, I did it for them based on what I saw. I said, you mind if I do it on YouTube since I'm doing it for free? He said, yeah, bring awareness. And then he said, after I spoke to the friend, he said, you need to take this information to the authorities. Here's their number. I said, say less, because y'all know I done assisted the authorities on a case or two. Mm-hmm. I have. Search parties and all. Mm-hmm. I offer free work and free consultations to people like that. No, this ain't a tarot channel, baby. No, this ain't that. I'm the woo lady. I don't need these. But y'all like to see visual representations of stuff. Now, if I just sat here and saw and read everything just off the dome, then y'all wouldn't believe me. Y'all don't believe me anyways until it come out. And then y'all come back trolling because you've been proven wrong and then you get scared. So then you come back and troll. I can use this. I can use water. I could use dirt. I could use a flame. I could use my mind. I was born this way before I knew what a tarot. You guys know I started using tarot cards in 2020. Before then, everybody was just asking me to, tell them what I dreamt. Anyways, so enough about me. Let's just get into it. This reading is for you all, not for me. I don't have retirement plans that they control. And yes, does BlackRock control most of you guys' pensions? They do. They do. That was my first gift. Besides laying of hands, I was a little girl in church laying hands on people and interpreting dreams for people that was grown. I was 10 years old laying hands on the sick, and my grandmama and family was bringing grown people to me, bringing me to grown people house so I could lay hands and pray for them so that they could be healed. And I'll be 39 in 5 months. So I lived in a world that was not this virtual social media world that a lot of y'all were born or grew up in or got your clout from. I use this as a tool to reach you. But I've been doing this since I was a little girl. Okay? Mhm. Mhm. I am my family's prophet and healer. Okay? I don't need y'all. I do. I need y'all. You guys, not them. Um, so BlackRock does own a lot of the United States citizens' retirement plans and pensions, which is why they say that they want to use those and they're not asking. They do. They're not asking. They're telling each other and they're putting it out there. Rather, they publicize it so that it grabs your attention because they don't need your attention. They just need to pronounce it so that energetically, karmically, they're not breaking any karmic laws. Now, if you, my people who perish from lack of knowledge, are not knowledgeable or are not paying attention because everybody's worried about celebrity bullshit, then that's on you. But everybody who's here, you are meant to be here today. Divine appointment. This ain't just entertainment, even though I'm very entertaining. It's a thing about giving children medicine that tastes good, but it's still medicine. I'm the medicine that tastes good. You're welcome. All right, so let's take a look. Now, do I need these? No. I just finished doing woo. On who? Well, I can't tell you yet, but you'll know when you know. So, uh, I already know what the fate is for these people. I already know what they're doing, but this is just for you guys. Members, I'll be in the membership live immediately after this, and we'll get to some meat and bones. Y'all know I shoot the shits in my public lives, but I don't cast my real pearls here. All right. Why not, you say? Oh, well, because I get the most views here when I talk about celebrity bullshit. All right. Most high up. Let me cleanse my hands. It's trolls in here, and I smell the stench of death. And that didn't come from the graveyard dirt that I was just digging in. That comes from the trolls, honey. Graveyard smells like life to me. It be popping in there. It be popping in the graveyard, in the cemetery, especially the one where my family is buried. It's lit in there. Ain't nobody in there sleep. Child, ain't nobody in there sleep. I be there all the time, several times of the week. Ain't nobody in there resting. Let me tell you, I went there the other week after I got word that the person I did work for that had been detained in ICE and had been scheduled for a 90-day deportation when they were released after I did my woo, I went right to the graveyard with flowers, fruit, candy, offerings. I had a party in there. I walked through that graveyard with this here bell. The whole graveyard. I said everybody, because it's an old cemetery, so it's a bunch of people in there who died in a time where they never got to see power like this. I said, wake up, y'all! Listen at what we did. Listen at what the Williams granddaughter did. My grandma right there. Listen at what Florence granddaughter did. I said, I know y'all must have lived and died in a time of oppression. Some of y'all was slaves or fresh out of slavery. I came in here to tell y'all we did it, bitch. I did. I sure did. And it was all kind of birds, just rah, 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 and butterflies, and the wind spinner thingy on my Uncle Ronnie grave just went to. I put my hand on it and told it to whoosh, and it whooshed. And then I said, stop, and it stopped. And I said, I'm just checking to make sure we woke today. Man, I went through that graveyard, blowing cigar smoke, throwing coins all up in the air. I made it rain. I did. Spirits like coins, not the dollars. They like coins. I took a whole, yes, it was definitely ravens. That's why I made that noise, Celine. That's why I made that noise. I was very intentional when I said birds. I didn't say tweedledee. I said, ah, because it was ravens. They're always there. Those are cemetery. It's three of them. They're always there. Always in a cut, like a little click, like they be over there talking. They're my little raven buddies though, because they're always there. So in my mind, they watch, they watch the place. But I'm always there doing woo, burying stuff, digging stuff, borrowing stuff, giving stuff. So hell yeah, it's the first place I went. I cried on my ancestors' graves, pulled cards to ask if they was proud. Just the sun. First card out, the sun. No card more proud than that. And then I cried some. I'm so happy to make you proud. The graveyard workers, they actually leave me be when I come because they used to seeing me there. They know I'm there. And they usually leave me be. They be there, but if they not doing no real work, they'll leave. They'll just leave. If they're doing real work, then they ain't gonna leave. They ain't gonna bother me, but they usually leave so that I can have my privacy. Anyways. All right, so let's take a look at a thing. Let's take a look at a thing. I cleansed my hands already, but I'm gonna do it one more time because the smell of this Florida water is bringing life into me for some reason. I have been struggling with lack of energy. I just start taking vitamin D. Um, so that Florida water is making me feel alive. All right. The Most High Mother and Father God. My spirit said, we're working on this right now. I know. Y'all ever seen Eve's Bayou? After Eve went to Azora and gave her father's hair and paid her $20. And she said, I want him dead. Moulin And when she realized what she had done and wanted to take it back, she went back to Azura and said, can you give it back to me? She wanted to take back the ritual. And Azura said, I can't take it back. He's already buried. And then Eve said, well, where is he buried? She said, down there. I put him in the mouth of a snake and buried him in the swamp where all the other Baptistes are buried. I just buried somebody down there. They know I'll be there. They respect it. I've the first few times they did approach me and ask me what I was doing. And I said what it looked like. And they chuckled. They black. They chuckled. All right, now I hope you know what you're doing, is what they said. I said, do it look like I know what I'm doing? All right, now. They chuckled and walked off. I ain't had no issues from them since, except for when I was just at my uncle funeral, and one of them was trying to holler. One of the old grave digger men was trying to holler, got all them teeth missing and stuff. If you don't get your ass on before I bury you in here. They be in there doing woo too. Grave people, they got a different relationship with the spirits, whether they practice or not. They got a different relationship with the spirits. So they ain't mine. Hell yeah. If never mind. Anyways. All right, child. All right. Now there is a graveyard though that I defiled. My maternal grandparents, they're buried at a graveyard that I do not go to. So I don't even go and see my maternal grandparents. I used to go and visit both cemeteries in the same day, but my maternal grandparents and that graveyard, I just don't like it. I don't like the way it feels, and I don't like the people that are buried there. I have some horrible people in my family who passed away, and they buried close to my grandparents. Molesters. Hmm. So when I used to go there to visit my grandparents, I used to go and wash their headstones, or I'll say anoint their headstones. I had a special wash mixture that I used to bless their headstones, and I did that just like I had been doing. And I came back the next week to bring fresh flowers, and it looked like it had rusted. It looks like blood. The only thing I can say that it's rust, but it looks like blood though. I ruined their headstones. And when I saw that, I kind of asked the spirits what happened. And in my mind, I heard, leave. Just leave and don't come here. And I thought, my grandparents, they can't help what they buried, but that don't mean that they want their grandchild coming here. Because some of the people who molested me, I'll say the one person from my family who molested me is buried there. The person who molested my mother and several other of her sisters and cousins, he's buried there. His messy ass mama, who was my grandmother's sister, who didn't like my grandma because she wanted my granddaddy, she is buried there. And so, and it's just like a few other, people from the community that ain't necessarily good, clean people who are woo lady like me needs to defile myself from. So my spirits told me I don't have to come back there. So I go to where my paternal ancestors are. And ironically, my maternal ancestors were root workers before they converted to Christianity before I was born. When they converted, everything about the work or their spiritual practices that was natural to them. Nobody had to indoctrinate them to do woo. We were all born into that. But then the indoctrination of Christianity came and they shunned, not just shunned, it's one thing to find another path and be appreciative of all the paths, but no, it became that's evil. And even though I was gifted, they tried to narrow or they tried to steer where I used my gifts. They knew I was gifted, but they made sure that I was laying hands and doing things the Christian way. And they kept a very close eye on me because of the practices that they used to practice, and they knew I was born with that. And so they wanted to make sure that I didn't slip into what I slipped into now, what I became. This is what they didn't want. However, they need it now. They need me now, even in death. So they died that way. My paternal ancestors, no, they was black and they was proud. They was black and they was proud. Okay, they believed in the Lord, but in their mind it was a black Lord. They ain't never They never lost their black pride, and they did not tolerate none of that shit that my maternal family does. That turn the other cheek and love your child. Mm-mm. My maternal ancestors said, "You can't. We can't help you. Go on over there to Florence and them. We knew we liked them for a reason." So yeah. Anyways, a BlackRock. I'll keep my eyes on you guys to see how y'all feeling in the next few weeks. Cause y'all like to threaten and send trolls and shadow ban and all of that stuff. So we'll see. All right. Y'all said I could be touched. Well, let's see if everybody can be touched. All right. Most High Mother and Father God, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you that I'm born black in every lifetime that I've existed. Ooh, the whites is gonna be mad, but y'all listen. I ain't saying nothing racist. If you feel away from me saying thank you for making me a Negro in every lifetime, then you're racist. Y'all been telling us to love the skin that we're in for a long time, and I do. Sir, thank you for the ashe that flows not in my prayers, but through my veins. Thank you for the wisdom of knowing. They can threaten me all they want, but I exist in several planes outside of my body, inside of my body, and in their minds. I'm there. Thank you for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. I thank you for them. They are the only reason that I'm on YouTube, not for anybody else on this bitch. The ones with eyes to hear and ears to hear. Thank you for Tuesday, the day of energy, the day of action, the day of war. Thank you for all of our ancestors who brought us all together because we is family and I love you, except for the trolls. I don't love you all. Thank you for the spirits. They be whispering in my ear and I just be listening. Thank you for this opportunity to be on YouTube. I used to thank YouTube in my introductions, but then I stopped when they shadow ban me. All right. Spirit, you know BlackRock has been on my spirit for some times. I talked about them to my members weeks ago, so my members knew that this day would come. We already got to the bottom of BlackRock and the shadow ban on my channel. Used to be a day where I had thousands of people in here, and that day was just about 4 months ago. Spirit, nevertheless, this reading ain't about me. This reading is about BlackRock. Spirit, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and the collective energy of the entity known as BlackRock. Any entities, companies, everything has a soul, a spirit. It's a living organization. It's active. It does things. It communicates. It has a presence. So it has a spirit. It's called a giant. You know, the Watchers, they came and had babies with humans and created a race who called themselves the master race. And now they call themselves the 1% and the elite. But we're not talking about giants like Goliath. We're talking about their entities, their corporations that rule this earth, that rule this earth under the more oppressive forces of Saturn. Saturn wasn't here to do all of that. But here we are. Spirit, what is the energy surrounding Larry Fink and BlackRock? What's the energy surrounding them? They've been in my spirit, so I'm doing a reading on them just because they've been in my spirit, not because, well, I guess they're in my spirit because of what they just said about wanting to confiscate you guys' savings and pensions. So, Spirit, will they be successful? What's going on with BlackRock? What are they doing? Allow me to see them right on their platform. You guys know BlackRock is watching. The fans be watching here. Bentley, I don't give a fuck what you believe in. I don't even want you here. Somebody said that I'd be up here doing readings for clout. And I thought, girl, you should see my block list. If I was looking for clout, I wouldn't be in the thousands of people I done blocked from seeing this channel. I don't suffer fools now. I'm here for the elect. Me being on YouTube is casting my net and expecting the handful of fish, not a net full of fish. You don't do that with ears to hear and eyes to see. There'll only be a handful. Those are who I cast this net for. All right. BlackRock, now that I have your spirit, your soul, and your collective energy in the palm of my hands where you belong. What's going on with you? You and Larry and all of your conglomerates and associates and whatever you guys want to be called. All right. Ace of Swords in reverse. We have our shadow government here. Swords represent, in this context, the United States and or the Trump administration, as Trump is a Gemini. In this line of work, air signs show up as swords. The United States shows up as a sword because we are a military state in my readings. Most of the time, the United States comes up as the Queen of Swords because of the Statue of Liberty. However, BlackRock, thank you for the star, Nick. You are the star in my life right now for the next minute because you sent me a star until someone else sends something else. But right now, Nick, you are the star in my life. And don't you ever forget it because I love you. Shadow government. This upright would be the government that we acknowledge. In reverse, this is the hand that rules the United States, but it's in reverse because it's a shadow government. So we'll just say that currently BlackRock is acting in its position as the force behind the cast of politicians that everybody is disowning their mother, their brother, and their cousin for, even though not even the people that you guys are fighting over and fighting each other about, they don't even run the show. Oh dear. Imagine the enmity in communities because of red and blue sides, Kamala and Trump, when all of you guys are fighting the people that you need to depend on, your community, over people who are playing a role. They don't even have power. Think about the idea of all the Congress members who are, what is that thing called? APAC funded. If they were really in control, why would all of them need to be funded by an organization that most of them have in common? What would be the point of a lobbyist if the government ran the show? You wouldn't have a bunch of elite and billionaires pandering or paying for them if they ran the show. So, shadow government. Remember what I just read that Larry Fink said. He spoke of the United States, but he spoke to them. He spoke to them, not for them. He didn't ask them. He spoke to them. What do I mean by that? The United States clearly understands that leadership in AI is not optional and will require sustained investment in research, infrastructure, and talent. That is not someone who is asking or appealing to the United States leaders. That is someone who is saying they clearly understand that what I'm saying is true. Thank you. Tiara, because Yosef, he was one of the first people in this chat. And when he got in here, because I looked at his name, Yosef Chaim, I could tell that he was Jewish. I know that Larry Fink is Jewish, and I know that most of BlackRock is. So when he first got in my chat, I asked him, "Are you Jewish? And are you here to troll?" Now, he did not come in here and troll the way most trolls do, because I told you guys there's two ways to troll. The first way is the way that gets you blocked the quickest, and that's come in here and make comments that you know are going to get you blocked. The more covert way is trying to get your channel demonetized. How did they do that? They create troll accounts. One that can show up not as a real person. One that if the system did a sweep of my page, they would recognize Yosef as a bot account. And then they come and then they spam the chat with multiple comments. Hi, hi, hi. I said hi, hi, hi. Because YouTube algorithm will acknowledge that as a bot, but they won't look at it as somebody that's just coming to troll her. They will look at it as a channel that's monetized because it has bots. So then they will demonetize the channel, and then you guys will have even more harder time finding me. So thank you, Tiara, because Yosef definitely came here on behalf of the Pentacle people, and I was going to let him stay because I know why he's here. And every now and then, I invite them to the table, especially when I'm talking directly to them. The government that rules the government, BlackRock, they cannot own everything that they own, which is all of the United States assets, at least 98% of them, and not have more control over the United States government than the United States government. I mean, the United States and the United States government. So this would be your shadow government. That's who they are currently, presently. Now, this being in the present position already lets me know that they are presently the shadow government. But in the future, which I haven't gotten to, there's going to be some changes or some shakeups in them maintaining that position. We'll see. What's challenging them? Knight of Cups in reverse. That's interesting. One wouldn't think that something like BlackRock would have a cup as its challenge. A cup when they're the sword? Interesting. The Knight of Cups, interesting. A knight is still a knight, but the Knight of Cups is not one that someone will be afraid of. The Knight of Swords is your most dangerous knight. And then the Knight of Wands. Why? Because they're holding weapons, a sword and a wand, and they're the fastest moving knights in the deck. The Knight of Cups is the third fastest, and there's only 4 knights. The slowest is the Knight of Pentacles because it's an earth sign. The Knight of Cups is the third slowest, though. And look, this isn't somebody that's going to war directly, meaning with a weapon that most people look at as a weapon. This knight is holding a cup. Now, water signs deal with things like spirituality, the media, including social media. This knight could also be an emissary, somebody from an embassy, somebody on a mission to establish peace or something that looks like peace. In this regard, this person is challenging them. Now, which context this Knight of Cups in reverse is, I have an idea, but I'll wait till I finish the spread so that I can clarify it and then have the cards to justify what I'm about to say. I already see where this is going. Their challenge is a warrior of some sort, a knight. Keep in mind, Even though he doesn't have a weapon, this is still a knight. He still goes to battle. In this instance, one of his strategies is to go to battle in a less obvious way. Past position, this is Larry Fink and his preposition. Not a proposition, because the Eight of Wands isn't a proposition or a question. These are communications coming from the top down below. So this would be him, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, coming out and making various statements and pronouncements. He was not just talking to the media who was interviewing him. This was one of the kings of the United States standing up and addressing his royal courts. These swords are coming from above and being shot down. I mean, these arrows. And these are communications. Eight of Wands is a card of communication, rapid, direct communication, and communication that actually could be taken as aggressive, because these are wands. You can hit people with these. Now, mind you, there is an article that states that at least $1 billion worth of shares had been offloaded after these various statements. So not all shareholders agree with the idea of using people's pensions. Those are the ones who have been taking their stocks out. But the ones are coming from up top down below. So obviously this man is an elite. He's at the top somewhere, and his communications are coming to people underneath him. Also, though, those messages had to cross this body of water. Could this be the body of water that this knight got his water in his cup from? This is spirit, the spiritual community. Meaning, although this elite man was talking to the unelite, the message also was received by people in the spiritual community who are not considered any one of these. We don't operate in just the 3D. And we are a community of people who are set apart from the masses. So the reason why this is pronounced is because when we hear messages like this, the world hears one thing. We hear several things. Now, whatever was heard, this knight decided to take action. I see what's going on here. BlackRock, you don't even listen. BlackRock, you guys owe me. You guys owe me $100 billion for this reading, because I know you hear it. I know you're watching. And I'm giving you a heads up. And you will not take it. And then the ravens will be glad in it. The ravens will be glad that you did not heed. They will come to feast on whatever carcass they find. Future. The Two of Wands. This is Larry. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, holding the world and the internet in his hands. Larry's going to want to do something in the future. Larry's going to want to do something. Larry might want to speed up this process of trying to take you guys' pension. Why? Because this guy here has the power to control the world. He has the world in his hands, and he has the power with this wand to do something. Kind of like what he said he was going to do. In this case, This man could be looking out into the horizon, could be looking out at the people who pulled their stocks out and don't agree, could be looking on social media and see people making fun of him and can say, you know what? I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them. I'm the man. Bitch, I'm the man. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend. Bitch, I'm the man. You got to be from the South to know that reference. Got no wife, but the wife be my girlfriend. Bitch, I'm the man. I'm the man. Listen. Does the public need to move stuff around now? Hold on. Just hold your horses. Don't be scared. I'm only speaking on one side. I ain't revealed the hand of the other side of this spiritual battle. I'll never show the hand of the other side fighting for the righteous. But hold on. Crowning BlackRock. Now, who the fuck are they watching? Especially after the person said that ravens would be there to eat their carcass. What messenger? This is a page. Pages are messengers. Look at those ravens. Ah! Now, who they watching? Ah! 10 of them. 10 of them. 10 means completion, finality. The Page of Sword is carrying a sword. So the Page of Sword, even though he's just a page, you got to be careful because after he comes with his message, after the page comes the knight. After the knight, the queen. After the queen, the king. But after the message comes, then the knight comes. And the Knight of Sword, I said, is the most dangerous. So the Page of Swords is considered the omen bringer. He brings omens. Because after the page, after the message is delivered, if there have been no adjustments, then the knight will come and the knight is ready to fight. However, we have a knight here and it's in BlackRock's challenging position. Not the Knight of Swords, though, the Knight of Cups, meaning this knight may not come bearing physical swords and guns ablazing. They'll come another way. That's going to be in my fucking head all night. So below. Oh, this is a lady. And she's sitting right in front of the Holy See. Now, this lady here is the original Vatican. She is the original Pope. Only my members and those who have eyes to hear, or those who aren't receiving some of this information for the first time, she would be considered a Sibyl, a prophetess. That seat that she sits on is the first seat of power that the matriarch sat on. We come from a civilization that was matriarchal in our beginning. They are the ones who are responsible for many of the ancient texts that you guys attribute to Moses, Matthew, John. What man, okay, has ever been the source of spirit? Women are literally physical embodiments of spirit. But she was the first to go. She was the first to go even before our ancient kings, our African kings, and our empires, our melanated empires. They take out the oracles, the ones that the kings used to go to for advice and wisdom. took out the queen mothers, and then left the men to do dumb shit. And then that was the end of our empire. We were slaves after that. Once they got rid of the oracles, we became slaves. All they had to tell the men was, y'all the only civilization that let women have power, if not more than y'all. Look at how we treat our women. Bitch, shut up. And our kings was like, we could never do that to our queen mothers and our oracles and our seers and our necromancers. They gonna kill us. Them people was like, not if we kill them first for you. And our kings was like, I do kind of like to think of having absolute power and being able to hit I want to hit my bitch too. God damn it. Y'all just felt, y'all. All right, so that's who this is. So who are they watching? I don't know. Current actions for Blackstone. The star in reverse. These are actually people who are carrying out the plans that their ancestors gave them. Who are their ancestors? Well, these are fallen stars. Keyword fallen. Fallen. Okay? Fallen divine beings. hmm You know, their ancestors touched down on Earth for the first time, or for the first time in our civilization, on Mount Hermon. And their ancestors made a pact mhm, that they were going to create a master race. Mhm. So they looked at some women. Now, their ancestors they would call aliens, but they come from a civilization before ours. And they're called watchers and angels because they're messengers. They're supposed to watch our civilization and aid in our development and then back the fuck up. Supposed to be our older cousins who know better and then can help us know better too. But then about 200 of them, so they say, got together and said, yeah, but we enjoyed our time there and we enjoyed what we could do there. We can't do that anymore because we are no longer, we have evolved out of that plane of being able to walk on the earth. And now that they're here, they're made differently. They're going to walk on the earth. We didn't get to do everything that they did. We have one nature. They got two natures. So that means they can do things for us that we can't do for us. If only we can control them. And then the rest of them was like, well, how will we control them? They have two natures. We only have one. And Azazel said, ugh, I got it. I know. We'll go. We'll boink the ladies. And then we'll create a new race amongst them. And our race will rule them. We can't get away with it looking like this and these bodies. They gonna know something ain't right. But if we make babies with them and they have two natures, that means our children will come out looking more like them than us. And then they might not notice that our kids, they not like them. And in fact, all these years later, you don't notice. Why? Because their kids are now mixed in with our kids, and now we're all just. This is BlackRock's ancestors, or the people that make up BlackRock. Larry Fink, because he's Jewish. Mind you, he's Jewish, not Jew. Jewish, meaning Jew like, almost like a Jew, kind of like a Jew. Ish means kind of, like, not quite, not quite, but kind of. Y'all don't believe me? My members do. We look up etymology and root words all the time because we're smart. Look, it's already in my search bar because we look at it all the time. It's right there. Number one, because I do this all the time. All right. Yes, BlackRock. I know y'all gonna tighten up the shadow band if you can. Y'all might be a little tied up. I don't know. The suffix ish originates from Old English, meaning of the nativity or character of, meaning characteristic of, origin in demonyms. Its oldest use is denoting belonging to a nationality or region. For English, for instance, English, British, Spanish, Irish. Now, all of those have something in common. I ain't gonna say what. Characterization. By extension, it came to describe someone or something possessing the qualities or traits of a root word. Childish, bookish. If someone calls you childish, you're not a child, but you're acting like one. Approximation. Since the early 20th century, it has been used colloquially to denote a rough estimate about, for example, 5 o'clock ish, 50 ish. How old are you? About 50 ish, somewhere around 50. That means not quite 50, somewhere around it. Diminution. It softens, listen, it softens the intensity of an adjective meaning somewhat or a little bit. For instance, reddish, warmish, tallish. So, and it calling someone tall can just be very aggressive. Tallish softens the intensity of the adjective. Calling themselves Jews outright could be challenged, has been challenged. Jewish, though, can't challenge that. Kind of like a Jew, but not quite. Don't get mad, Jews. I'm looking up the root words and the etymology, and if anybody knows this, y'all do. Y'all just we just ain't supposed to be saying it and breaking it down like this because that ruins the power and the stronghold. Because then people is gonna be like, well, if they kind of like them, where is the them? If they're the similar to the Jews, where and who is the Jew? And you notice ain't nobody else in the world claiming that. Nobody else is claiming it. So where they at? Then my mind starts to think of a people who call themselves everything but what the fuck they are. A people who didn't have so many names assigned to them in recent history. Only in about the last 250 years have we had various identities cast upon us. And now you've got a generation of new niggas who done came up with fuck it, we FBAs. Don't know who the fuck you are and just making shit up as you go. But somebody knows where the real people are. If these people is Spanish, Danish, Irish, Jewish, where's the anyways? Nevertheless, the star in reverse, they are following the pact and the orders of their ancestors. The ones who met on Mount Hermon. You guys know the United Nations has a headquarters on Mount Hermon, and there is a peace pact between Israel and Syria that the region around Mount Hermon, they cannot fight each other in that region. Now, what? Why would the United Nations want to have a headquarters on the same place the book of Enoch said the Watchers descended, made a pact, and were judged there? Oh, Leo, you didn't know that about the United Nations headquarters on Mount Hermon? Of course, I'll cite my sources. UN headquarters, Look, I was just talking to my members about this the other day in our deep dive. So there it is. Ooh. Mount Hermon is home to Hotel Hermon, the highest permanently manned. Listen, the highest. So they're at the tippy top, permanently manned United Nations positions in the world. It is permanently manned. Someone is always there. It sits at the tippy top of the mountain where the Watchers landed, looked down at human women, and said, "Ooh, we're going to fuck them so that they can give birth to our hybrid human babies, and we'll use them to enslave everybody else." That's just, what do I know? Managed by the UNDOF mission. This base monitors the buffer zone between the Syrian Arab Republic and Israeli occupied territories. Their mission, and it's considered a base. They call it a base. The mission. The base operates under the United Nations Disengagement Observer Force, tasked with monitoring the 1974 disengagement agreement in the Golan Heights. They can fight each other into oblivion, but you can't fight each other where the Watchers landed, made their pact, and who else knows whatever else they left behind there. Is that why Israel wants that land so bad? Is that why the Jewish, the chosen people, want that land so bad? Is it because it's the land of your ancestors? Hmm? Did they leave some things behind? Is this girl math why all of a sudden you guys want to come out and disclose aliens? At 2,814 meters, peacekeepers face extreme weather, including heavy blizzards requiring specialized winter equipment and frequent rotations. Just to keep peace in that region, you guys are manning, are withstanding those circumstances just to manage and monitor that they don't fight in that specific spot, even though bombs are blasting right round the corner by these same people. They just ain't allowed to fight each other around here. Why? And this is an unmanned, I mean, a permanently manned base. Peacekeepers face extreme weather, including heavy blizzards. It requires special winter equipment and frequent rotations. If you guys wanted to keep the peace between the Arabs and the Israeli, why not just do that? But you guys are only there to make sure that they don't fight around the area of the Golan Heights. What's so special about that area? And why is this the only permanently manned base of the UN on Mount Hermon? The same place where you guys said, probably. Absolutely, I agree. Diamond, I agree. The heavens that it says, heavens just means universe. We've been so Christianized and that we don't understand that the heavens just means the universe and planes outside in or around this earth. So I agree with you, Diamond. In fact, I've actually said something like that to my members because, well, my inner courts members, only my inner courts members got this, but we are reclaiming the book of wisdom, the books of wisdom. That's not what they're called, but that's what I call them. Figure it out if you don't understand what I'm talking about. And we talked about them being bound. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into what we talk about in the inner courts because that's for the inner courts. But Saturn, this earth, Saturn's role in this earth, I imagine that there could be a possibility that it's easier to reach Saturn from this earth than one would think. I'll just say that. In my opinion, if you dig a hole deep enough, they used to say, it used to be a thing when I was growing up, if you dig too deep, you'll end up digging your way to China. That's what they used to say when I was a little kid. What if you can dig a hole and come out in Saturn? And some of the rings of Saturn. What if the rings of Saturn are just crusts or layers of the Earth's crust that we call the Earth's crust, but it's Saturn. Saturn rules this Earth. Saturn rules time, our restrictions, our human flesh that keeps our spirit here. I watched some show. I don't know if it was on Netflix or Hulu, but I think it was in LA. La Brea. La Brea. That's what it's called. I have mentioned Antarctica in my inner courts. Diamond, all of the things that you would like me to talk about, I do. Just not on my public because I don't cast my pearls amongst swine. Not calling you and not calling everybody, but this is the public. And so I usually reserve my wisdom for those who seek it, not for those who receive it and then don't know what to do with it. These topics are some of my least viewed, but Tasha K and Lotto and shit like that, I love that. And I get it. I'm not in the business of saving hoes. So when I see a hoe don't want to be saved, I don't save them. I just give them what they want and then save those who want to be saved. And now, Diamond, I will say I didn't do a deep dive into Antarctica, but I did have to bring it up in a conversation similar to this. It came up. Actually, I don't even know if it was in the inner course. Wasn't it in Reclaiming the Truth series members? Was it in the presidents? It was the last president I talked to, the last president I conjured up. He was the one who gave me the tea about Antarctica. And then we haven't touched back on it since. But I'm actually doing a members live tonight. So when I do go deeper into Antarctica, it will be in my members tiers, not here. All right. External to BlackRock. The did he? Yes, Liv. It was this recent one. Yes, the tricky one that tried to trick me out my spot, tried to make a little proposition with me, tried to offer me something. And I thought about it and I said, bitch, what can you offer me? I'm finna take you through there. Hey, Liv. All right, external to BlackRock. Oh, somebody isn't happy with them. Now, who's that? Who is that? Whoever she is, she has a black kitty. Hopes and fears for BlackRock. The people would like to live for eternity. The people would like to rule forever. And the key to doing that is in the consciousness of humans. This is where the data centers and the artificial intelligence comes in. Because if they're gaining and their intelligence for their technology, then that means you all are losing it. But don't say I ain't tell y'all this a long time ago, last year sometime when I gave that message about the data centers being built in Memphis. I think that was the first one that they built, the one in Memphis. And I told y'all then, I said, watch what it does to the community. And it's because the people are being drained of their spirit, of their what makes them human. Why can they do that successfully? Because you all have equated your existence to only what you experience in the 3D. YOLO, right? That's what Drake told y'all. YOLO, you only live once. Now, Drake is Jewish. Of course, he would tell y'all that. And y'all just just suck it all up. YOLO, only live once, so I might as well not care about nothing. That was y'all just all giving Drake that got 3,000 when he told y'all you only live once, but the ancients been telling y'all, including the Jesus that y'all bow to, that the dead rise and get another body. Now that just means when this one is like this, the other one is like this, moonwalking and shit. No, but they wanted y'all. Oh, thank you, Tiara. That's so cute. You must have liked my. That's what did it, wasn't it? It was the Gawk 3000. Y'all was like, yeah, we just want to go to the party and club. We don't want to think about nothing. We don't want to hear nothing that makes us think, that makes us live. No. So yeah, y'all be like, we just gonna die and go to sleep anyways and raise up in heaven or hell. Fools. This is how they can live forever. And you will be the ones to not live forever. All they need is the key to reincarnation because they cannot. But you do. Now, if they steal your consciousness, then they can find out how your consciousness continues to live on throughout various existences. Everything's recorded in our supercomputer, which is our soul. We might get another computer, but that hard drive that all of our lifetimes are recorded on, Every time you get a new body, that it just gets plugged into the new body. You may not remember all your other lives, but they're recorded. It's a lot of information to remember. And you'd be overwhelmed if you came into your current life remembering everything. However, they know that though. You don't. You guys think you just live and it's YOLO and all you got to do is graduate, get married, have a baby, find a man, make him fall in love. Y'all don't cheat because that's what marriage and love means, not cheating on each other. And then try to find the meaning of life through consumerism. And then you all die expecting to achieve everything that you didn't get to achieve in this life. So you get another body. And your consciousness is telling you to pick up where you left off. And you didn't leave off on any wisdom. You left off on goals on being a millionaire and achieving the American dream or whatever version of the dream in your country it is. So, your next lifetime, you'll still be trying to fulfill those goals until you spend thousands of lifetimes unfulfilled. And then the 1,001 lifetime, you go searching for something deeper, for the deeper meaning of life. Unfortunately, though, we've been in the last days since colonization. So, after the generations that didn't grow up in the New World Order, meaning the virtual reality, once they die out, good luck to the rest of yous. Because the only thing you'll know is the virtual world that they created for you. And you're already showing signs of not giving a fuck about the world that existed before all of this did. Because they taught you to. They taught you how not to give a fuck. Why? Because you think this is your one and only lifetime. And you think you're going to die and go to a heaven and hell and rest there forever. However, depending on how you die, you will. You'll come back in another body and you'll come back evolving more than you evolved in your past life. Or you'll come back into the matrix, which is your hell, because it does not lead you anywhere but to more bondage. Your choice. They, though, they are the shepherds who have been mastering over those who are natural to this planet. These are real human beings here. And this is the master race. Now, they're not us, but they sit and ponder over us. Their job is to figure out how to be human, how to acquire the ability to live on. They have a different genetic makeup than those who are natural to this planet. So there's something missing from them that causes them not to have eternal life like we do. That's what they want. You guys think they're worried about money and wars? No. They want you. Their entire focus is on you. And for a time, it's not much that they can do. Their hands are tied because they have yet to figure out how to duplicate or replicate the human soul, the human consciousness. But if they suck it enough into their data centers, then they'll be able to analyze it. Outcome. The magician. As above, so below. DNA and eternity. I want to live forever, but I know it requires human DNA. That is what's on our mind. Living forever and how to replicate human DNA, pure human DNA. The elites require you, and the Jewish require you to have that bloodline from your mother. You can be Jewish, you can be born Jewish if your mother is Jewish. Otherwise, you're a convert. And in the ancient days, there was an idea of the queen mother. Your lineage, your maternal lineage, is what they checked to determine if you had any royal blood in you. Now, why does the maternal lineage matter so much? Well, if the fathers were not human, like we are, but the mothers were, can't inherit anything if your father's cursed, but you can if your mother is indigenous to this planet. This means several things. They will utilize their resources to do just that, and they will do it with more urgency now because the watchers are being watched and they know it. So now they got to act quickly and they have to be bold about it. Why? Because you can't let no hoe clock you like that. You can't let no hoe clock you like that. Liv. You be on it. So this is the I am and I will. This Larry is going to say, ain't no hoe finna threaten me or clock my tea. Regulators, mount up. And for those who are in the valley of dry bones and have not risen, y'all got a problem. Y'all got a problem. But as of me and my house, we don't. We just don't. Well, know how I don't? I know we don't because ain't none of these problems everybody else been having have we been affected by. And the minute my people do get affected, they call me. They call me quickly and say, Dina, Dina. And I'd be like, all right, let's see what the spirits got to say about this. Not by my might, but if the spirits say it's a go, then bitch, we ride at dawn. So the shadow government will do what they do. They will continue to suck. I I would have loved to be able to say, yes, they shall be destroyed. But no, they have a purpose too. Judgment has to come to all of us. And what is judgment for some of you is just a trial and tribulation for the rest of us. And as I always say, you can get through a trial, a trying time, but judgment is permanent. And there is a place in judgment for those who align themselves with the unrighteous. And yes, if you are ignorant, then you will align yourself with the unrighteous, and there will be no grace for you for ignorance. Not in 2026, not in the age of knowledge and technology and everything being out in the open. That's why it's no more grace, because now they're telling you. And they will do their magic the way their ancestors taught them. Pharmaceuticals, the cutting of roots, that's what it's called in the books of wisdom. Taught them the cutting of roots. That's pharmaceutical. Pharmaceuticals and poisoning our food, creating hybrid foods. So taking something from its natural state and then turning it into an ish, natural ish, like the food and the produce, natural ish. All of our food now is fake. It's food ish. Now, who would even have the concept of doing something like that other than the people who are human-ish? They will have their place. They will have their place in this world. However, they'll be mad. They'll be mad because they don't like to be clocked. They don't like for people when people know. Because when you know, you don't fear. And you can talk your shit to them, like I just did in this live, because I did not lie. And I didn't say anything that was not going to come to pass. These people are children of the Mount Herman crew. And we all know what happened to the Mount Herman crew. The only thing left is to deal with their offspring. But their offspring have a purpose. The good thing is that you choose. You choose if you are under their feet or way above their heads. That's your choice. But as of me and my house, we fly above. We fly above. This also means that they got wooed. You guys got wooed. Somebody did some woo on you, and it was probably her. I can just hear y'all down there in the wise of Billy Porter. I can see y'all watching me down at B613. Fuck her. Fun fact, Billy Porter's sister's name is Adina. Fuck her. They're gonna get you guys. Not y'all. They're gonna zap you guys. Yes. No, I'm busy right now. I'll figure that out later. They're gonna get you. They're going to uh, create. They're going to enhance their artificial intelligence off of yours. Off of yours. Why? Because as above, so below. What's done above is also done below. And ignorance. It's been decided that some of you shall remain in your ignorance. So down here, you will remain in your ignorance. But there has to be a polarity. So the world can't just be roses. There has to be a polarity because the polarity helps us. I turn down food when I'm on one. You can't interrupt my work. Only I can interrupt my work. Nobody else can do that. And I told y'all, everybody got a key to this house. It's another reason I'm moving because now I need privacy. Everybody has a key to this house. Nobody sees it as my house. It's everybody's house because this used to be grandma and granddad's house. So it's always somebody here popping up. It was the kids the other day. Sister dropped them right off. I came out and they talking about we having a slumber party. Bitch. I enjoyed it. It was just the boys. And it's a different vibe when it's just the boys. Sometimes they just look at me, and my nephew got these cute curly eyelashes, and he'll look at me and blush. So my nephew, I'm his first crush, and I had to break that out of him. But sometimes I still think he has it because he'll look at me and blush and then turn away. I'm gonna have to tell him again. I had the conversation with him before, but he's 7 or 6. You don't know no better. I'm gonna have to tell him though. You can't be looking at your TT like that. You can't do that. He used to come and bring me a flower. Titi, Titi, Dina, I brought you a flower. Hand on my leg, just caressing my knee. If you don't get you, he's a Leo. Don't mind him. They for the streets. I'm just playing. My nephew is a Leo, so I'm gonna tell y'all hide your daughters and hide your nieces because he fine, he handsome. He easy on the eyes and he got these eyes and them pretty curly eyelashes. So your daughter's gonna get took, your niece is gonna get took, and I'm the wrong TT to advocate for your daughters. I'm gonna tell you like this. I love Leos. I told y'all the African, he's a Leo and he's the love of my life. He was for everybody. But he was such a valuable asset to me. And I love a valuable asset. And he treated me so well. We had our time in the sun, and when it was over, I let that bitch go so he can go shine on somebody else. That's what he needed. But sure, I love Leos. I think I'm most compatible with Leos because I accept you for who you are. Y'all can't hide who you are, and I like people who don't hide who they are. You don't have to be afraid of my judgment because I'm just an observer of humans. So I don't dislike anybody. I trust humans to be who they are. So I meet you, I see who you are, and then I adjust myself to you. But it's the people who hide parts of themselves that I don't like because then I can't trust you. But Leos, they don't know how to hide themselves because they like attention so much. So they have to be themselves and be, it's the sun. Y'all rule by the sun. Everybody sees the sun. So I like Leos. Y'all can be self-absorbed sometimes, selfish. Those are y'all worst qualities, but I can deal with that. It's the people who don't want to be seen because they don't even know who they are, feel comfortable with who they are, that I can't fuck with. Because I read people. And if you tell me who you are up front, I don't have to read you. You done already told me. And I'm a hype man. So Leos like to be hyped up, and I like to hype you up. Everybody look at me. Okay, Leo. With your fat ass. Okay, I just love y'all. I love y'all. Okay. But they gonna get y'all. With their technology, they gonna get y'all. Not y'all though. Them. They gonna get them. Let's start there. Listen, everybody hates the millennials because we're the last of the dying breed. But when we leave, y'all gonna see how much y'all didn't hate us. Yep. Yep. Y'all already see the effects of the generations that were brought up from birth in technology and the New World Order. They can't read. Y'all seen it going around social media with that young man trying to get people to read Silhouette and Gauche and things like that. And the people is looking cross-eyed at that man like, why did you put French in front of us? Them the same people that be arguing with me in my chat with incorrect grammar and poor cognitive skills. Now, this ain't no shade, but you guys did lose a lot of the cognitive abilities that we barely had. Barely had. We was the last of the dying breed. I told y'all they rolled out computer classes when I was in on my way to on my way to middle school is when they implemented computer classes so that we can learn computers. And they didn't even have the internet yet. But I was already, educated enough. I was on my way to middle school by then. So they are when we die, because this generation turned 18 and start calling 30 something year old millennials old. Now, why? Why is it in a generation's consciousness to, as soon as they become crowned with adulthood, to be anxious to get rid of a previous generation? Why? Because of the friction between millennials and the later generations. We're the last, they're the first. They grew up in a world that they don't know. We grew up in a world that they don't know. We don't really know their world. We had to learn it, but it's their world. So, as far as they're concerned, we're aliens. As far as we're concerned, they're alien. Um, but the idea of wanting us to go is that we are constant reminders. We're always talking. Yes, I'm talking about the younger Gen Zs. I'm talking about the younger Gen Zs. My sisters are 90s babies. They're called millennials, but I look at them as Gen Zs. But I'm talking about the younger. I don't keep up with the generations after mine. I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry. But whatever they call them, alphas, I don't know. But I say Gen Z because, yes, even though you guys grew up in the 90s too, or were born in the 90s, the bulk of you guys' world has been this world. So a lot of Gen Z is this way. Or they had to choose. Are they gonna group in with the millennials and stuff? And y'all, but nobody that's not a millennial likes us. They think we're old and outdated. We're a reminder of the world that they don't know. And everybody talks about the old days and things like that because they were different. But the millennials, I mean, the newer generations, they don't know that world. So the best they've been able to do is try to replicate it. You notice that? They've just been refurbishing everything from the old world. Why? There's something missing from these generations. But I'm not trying to start no fight. You guys who aren't offended by what I say that are in those generations, the offense means there's something within you that's not completely dead. That's what the offense is. If you are offended, something in you that they want to not be there is there. Let me start with the magician. Those are the data centers. They will do it and they will use whatever resources they can. Rather they tell everybody that they're taking from your pensions, or whether something happens to where it's like a banking crash or something and everybody's retirement, they will find a way. They're going to take it from y'all. They're going to take it, whether you like it or not. And listen, the old style of humans, bye, see ya, but in reverse. This is the new human here. Blacked out, grayed out, has no identity or knowledge of self, only the false reality that it's been given. And this false reality is taking the one thing that makes you black, your soul. Data centers, they're going to get you with the data centers. They're going to get you. Ooh. Look at that BlackRock. It's actually a stone, but it's black. This card is ruled by Saturn, the black cube. The black cube. This is in here because it's a Saturn rule card. Want to know why else I know that? You see that in his hand? That's the glyph of Saturn. It's a symbol of Saturn. And this is a Capricorn card. Now, the inverted pentagram. Why is that a thing? Pentagram, inverted pentagram. Well, Venus. Venus. The importance of the pentagram comes from the transit of Venus. The pentagram of Venus, also known as the Rose of Venus, is the geometric pattern the planet Venus traces in the night sky when viewed from the Earth. Over an exact 8-year cycle, the relative dance between Earth, Venus, and the Sun creates a perfect five-pointed star or five-petaled flower. Humans and Venus. Okay? Now, the inverted pentagram. Now, who is Venus? The mother, God, Mother Earth. Yes, God is a woman. The first God you knew was your mother's womb. You didn't know anything about a father. You didn't know nothing about a father. You knew your mother first. And from her bosom, she passed you off to your daddy if he was there. And then you didn't care nothing about being passed to him because when he rocked you close to his chest and you was doing this as an infant, looking for milk, he had to pass you back to your mama. And when you suckled on her breast, all you knew was this is safety. This is heaven. This is God. And this earth sign, nurtures nurtures and feeds us because we are her children, us earthlings with earthling DNA. This earth sustains us. It's our home, it's our food, it's our sustenance. Who would want to destroy it? Well, an inverted pentagram, not quite human. And those who inverted the work of Venus also enslaved mankind. Oh dear, I just did a thing. They're gonna get you. All right, you guys good? Let's look at the Page of Sword, not the messenger. Over there bullshitting on social media, acting like she's just bullshitting when really, ooh, because y'all know I'm a Libra. Talking about the Valley of the Dry Bones. Child. And the dead being able to live and resurrection and the idea of reincarnation and y'all thinking that, yes, that's what that is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, some of you newbies who heard me talk about being shadow banned at the beginning of my live understand exactly why, because I be over here cutting up. And if BlackRock owns YouTube and I be doing stuff like this every time I get up here, well, then I can see, I can see why my emails. At some point, when I was helping on that case that I was telling you guys about, and I had to pull back because I started seeing that the laws was involved, and then it turned into trafficking. What you mean? That literally unfolded here on this channel. But you guys, I have to go way, way back in my content to before I was even doing lives or celebrity readings to see how how that unfolded because I literally it it unfolded here. I would do a live and then I'd come back and then explain what I experienced. And then I would tell you guys, I told y'all about the lady who contacted me in Buffalo and everything. There was a lady who contacted me and told me, be careful. Be careful because my husband is one of these people and it is a ring operating out of Buffalo. And she said, not me, she said, the entire police. And then she told me a story about how her ex-husband tried to permanently silence her. And she told me about how they tried to run her off of the road because he's law enforcement. And then she sent me the news article about it as a receipt. And I said, oh, then I was getting the emails in my email from the Blue Lives. They'd all have Blue Lives, even on YouTube, they all have Blue Lives Matter profiles and stuff. And they were harassing the hell out of me. And I had to send all of that to my friend Valerie at the time. I was like, listen, I ain't mad, girl. Girl, I just was doing something for somebody, and girl, look. I had to tell her, listen, I need you to hold these receipts for me, just in case. Child, it got real, real. But with the bad comes the good because I also got contacted by another person in law enforcement who asked if under the table I could assist them with something. And I may or may not still be, you know, you make enemies in this line of work, but if you're good, you make friends. Not everybody is threatened by people like this. Some people will acknowledge that you can actually be an asset, and that's what I like to be. I like to help. So that's that with that. I'm surprised BlackRock let this ride, child. My woo must work, y'all. Y'all notice they ain't silence me. They ain't interrupt the live. My Wi-Fi ain't go out. The woo work quick, ain't it? Let me see a thing. Spirit. I just did some woo on somebody. Not a person, but a somebody. A spirit. My question is, the subject of the woo that I just did, will they go 100% untouched and unscathed? Because it wasn't just offensive woo. I don't like being attacked on while I'm on the job here. I'm supposed to be safe to do this. I am a YouTube partner. So whenever there is an op and I see it, I don't fight. I don't argue. I just hit that bitch with a bottle quietly. And then I talk about it afterwards, but never beforewards. Because I have a Scorpio descendant and I am probably a lot more scorpionic than Scorpio suns. My shadow side is in the shadow sign. My daddy is a Scorpio and he did 20 years in federal prison for attempted assassination of a federal officer. Anyways, not saying that my daddy's a hero, but he was a sniper and I'm a sniper in a different way. Spirit, one card. Will they go untouched and unscathed? Will they get away untouched and unscathed? Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Of course not. Now, nobody's taking anyone down because some people serve their purpose, even if you have to act. However, some people who understand the keys to nature and the bottomless pit, there's no way they can touch you and you not feel it. It don't have to be a complete takedown. But if my question was, will they go untouched and unscathed? That's impossible if you know what you're doing. Now, this is the company card. This is the institutional card. Institution. They'll have some bad days. They will be flipped upside down, actually. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out for y'all, but it's going to give you a problem. It's going to give you a headache. You're going to at least be stressed. And all I need sometimes is for people to know that you can be touched, because that's what they came on here on my channel and said to me. Careful, you can be touched. And I thought, okay, well, let's all get to touching each other around here. Because I know the version of touch that they were talking about. But my version of touch means you won't see me. Y'all all right? The people who like touching people, y'all all right? Because the people who said that, I touched y'all back. And I watched what happened in the news and in the blogs. But I won't say who I'm talking about. But I will say that when those people threatened me, I just so happened to be talking about Rock Nation. And then there was that time where them trolls was extra trolling me, and I said, I'm not going to deal with you. I'm going to deal with who sent you. I'm going to deal with your bot bosses. And then next thing I know, that Spotify bot Rico happened, and they start removing just bots everywhere. And everybody start getting exposed for bots and bot farms and bot this. And I said, oh, eh, eh. You send a bot to me, and then the whole bot industry is now on trial. You know, I told them, I said it on this live. Y'all go watch some of my lives. It's still there. I said, I'm not going to deal with you trolls. I deal with the bosses. And then bots everywhere. Ooh. BlackRock, you guys are practicing an inverted form of a natural spiritual practice. But most Jewish do. This actually, my members live was the card that triggered me to mention Antarctica. Oh, here's the Knight of Swords. So something was about to go down that they would have been able to do very freely, and they still will. However, remember I said the Knight of Swords is the most dangerous, and he's the fastest. On your ass. Now, if people aren't paying close enough attention, then you won't notice anything, but I will. I'll be looking. I'll be looking for my fingerprints all over you. Why? Because I saw your fingerprints on my channel. I saw the shadow ban. I watched it happen live. I still have people, subscribers, who've been subscribed to me for years, texting me and emailing me and trying to figure out if I'm on a hiatus or not on YouTube. Bitch, I take days off. At the most 2 or 3. But yeah, I have watched my channel grow and my money from this channel decrease. Now, I don't do this for the money. I've already told you guys that I do not make money here. I do real estate. YouTube cannot pay me, or they can, but they don't. I make less than $500 from YouTube. I'm getting ready to close a 7-figure deal, and I have a 5-figure commission from one deal alone. So listen, I blocked somebody who came in here and said I do this for clout. How can I get clout off of celebrities who are my entertainment? I am the clout in my life. I've always been this way. I've always been my own main character. Celebrities are the entertainment. They're the help. They're here to make me giggle and tap my foot and nod my head to the beat. And that's it. And that's it. You guys do this and this. I would never worship the help. You guys are funny. Anyways, this was fun, right? You guys had fun? I said I was going to do a members live, but I don't feel like it anymore. This one a little longer than it should, but it was overdue because I've been sitting on this. But sitting on stuff and making me miss stuff that would make y'all gag. Like Big Fat Lizzo. It was in my head for weeks, and I was like, I cannot create a video and title it Big Fat Lizzo. And my spirits was like, yes, you can. And I said, that is more shady than I've ever been. I am not going to be that girl. Had I listened, nobody would have thought I was being mean. Y'all just would have thought that I was really psychic because she got into it with Azalea Banks. And they've been calling her Big Fat Lizzo. And I was like, oh, well, all right, well, I get what you guys are saying. I will trust my own instincts. And if people don't like it or don't get it, they'll get it later. So BlackRock has been on my heart, and I'm just going to deal with it now. And I have worked myself up. Apparently, there might be some food waiting on me. I just realized my appetite has kicked in. That means the word has gone forth, and this little teapot is empty. So now I'm about to go and replenish myself. This was fun. Members, I'm sorry, but I got to let the Lord use me. And the Lord has used me up. I ain't even smoked all day. Got to eat and roll up. All right, y'all. Y'all be safe out there. Guard your brains, guard your mind. Guard your nieces and daughters because my nephew is growing up. Thank you, Q. I'm going to get some rest. Thank you. If Q tell me to get some rest, then just like a good woman, I listen to a man when he tell me, when a man come and tell me what to do, and it means it's something good for me. So bye, y'all, because Q said get some rest.